Ojai. Tijuana, the city in the northwest of Mexico, the largest in the state of Baja California and the most western in all Latin America. It is located in 170 km from the capital of the state, Mexicali, and in an hour of driving from the seaport of Ensenada. Tijuana is also the administrative center of the municipality of the same name. It is separated by frontier from the twin city in the USA, San Diego, and the total number of the population of these cities exceeds 5 million people. The origin of the name of the city is ambiguous. From the very beginning of a mention, a number of options occurs in the Spanish documents. La Tijuana, Tijuana, and also modern Tijuana. The opinion on origin of the name from is most standard that in language of the local tribe seaside means. However, in local folklore the legend that the name happens from Tijuana. The lotia of one ranch, which is going back to the name existing in the first half of the 19th century, is popular. Before arrival on these lands of Spaniards, there were settlements of tribes of Akumaya, related with others to tribes living on the Californian peninsula. About it links in some chronicles by missionaries which crossed this region on the way on the north were saved. There is also a number of the language elements allowing to assume that the word Tijuana of Indian origin. But documents remained that in 1809, in the book which records about a baptism in the mission of San Diego, there took place the locals' baptism from the settlement of de la Rancheria de Tijuana. Probably parish pastor just as Panaziravat, a native word which not really well I understood. Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo moving from the small bay. Modern Ensenada. The North was the first European researcher who floated near coast of modern municipality Tijuana, and in 6 days from September 23 to September 28, 1542 I reached the Gulf San Diego. The Franciscan monk Junipero Serra was the first European who set foot on land of modern municipality Tijuana in 1769. In his diary the following record remained. On July 1, Saturday, we left early in the morning after visit of our Ward of Virgin Mary. There was day of traveling before arrival in the port settlement where we are waited by 2 vessels, San Carlos and San Antonio. We reached without incident, happy, the long-awaited port of San Diego. In the last day of traveling, before achievement of the port of San Diego, the Father Serra passed across the lands of Tijuana. In 1829, at the end of the period of government of the Governor of California Jose Maria Echendaya, he provided Santiago Argelia Maroc for cultivation of cattle of the Tijuana Ranch, of 1,000 hectares. In 1846, during the American-Mexican War, the fleet of the USA begins invasion on coast of California. The unequal fight which followed after that, forced the Mexican government to enter negotiations. After truce signing, it was decided to establish a new clear boundary. After consultations with the Congress, the government of the Republic was forced to sign on February 2, 1848 Guadalupe Hidalgo's contract, having lost more than a half of the territory. The decision turned out to be consequence of all this, that Tijuana will become the boundary city, on other side from the port of San Diego, which remained for Americans. On July 11, 1889 it is considered official date of foundation of the city of Tijuana, though already before, In 1864 in the settlement the justice and judicial authority were already organized. According to a census of 1900, 242 persons lived in Tijuana. On May 9, 1911, Tijuana was stormed by a group of the Mexican and foreign armed individuals, led by brothers Ricardo and Enrique Flores Magón, intending to make Baja California the Socialist Republic under control of the Liberal Party of Mexico created by them. Residents of Tijuana and other settlements of Baja California didn't agree with these plans and are ready to fight against freebooters. After several bloody skirmishes, aggressors were forced out in Shaw. At the beginning of the 20th in Tijuana the gaming begins to develop. In 1924 the Hippodrome and Club for Travelers was constructed. In 1927 in the city the tourist complex, Compañía Mexicana de Agua Caliente, is based. On June 9 the next year the Casino Agua Caliente opens. Politicians, businessmen and actors, the arising Californian cinema took part in development of this infrastructure. On October 15, 1925, the decree of the President of Mexico Plutarco Elias Calles was created Municipality Zaragoza with the administrative center in Tijuana, but this name for various reasons didn't get accustomed. Therefore on November 25, 1927 the Congress of Mexico made the decision on renaming of municipality in Tijuana. In 1935, the decree of the President Lázaro Cárdenas closed all gambling institutions of the country including Casino Agua Caliente and Club of Foreigners. In 2 years after closing, the tourist Agua Caliente complex was expropriated for creation of industrial training center. Now it is Federal School of Lázaro Cárdenas, one of the best public high schools in the city. On February 16, 1938 in the downtown more than 1,000 people suited disorders. They tried to lynch the soldier Juan Castillo Morales accused of rape and murder of the girl Olga Camacho. Protesters set fire to city halls and police. Tangled circumstances of this incident and the subsequent execution of the soldier engendered a city legend of Juan Soldado. The same year in the city was the arena for a bullfight. The Tijuana bullfight opened. On April 26, 1940 the legal fund of registration of the real estate is created. Same year when crossing frontier it was necessary to show the passport. In 1952 the territory of Baja California becomes the Free State of Mexico. And on May 1, 1954, in Tijuana the first city administration begins to work. On July 18, 1960 in Tijuana the repeater of Telesistema channel was started. The project of construction of the picturesque road Tijuana and Ensenada was the same year started. In 1965 the program for creation of joint ventures with firms from other countries contributing to the development of economy and future city was started. In 1970 in Tijuana the international airport of a name of the General Abelardo 50. Rodriguez was put into operation. On March 23, 1994 in the suburb of Tijuana Luis Donaldo Colosio, the presidential candidate of Mexico from PRI was killed. This tragic event shook the whole country. On January 29, 2007 in Tijuana, the Archiepiscopal Diocese operating the Church Province, including all dioceses of the Peninsula Baja California and parts of the neighboring state of Sonora, was placed. In 2007 in Tijuana and Mexicali, under the auspices of FIV, there took place the Volleyball World Cup among girls. Big inflow of migrants from the southern regions of Mexico, persons interested to get to the USA, but in the majority not having an opportunity to cross border, settle in Tijuana. It resulted in high growth rate of the city on the south and the east, and probably to fast association with the cities of Rosarito and Tecate. Crime in Mexico meets everywhere, but in Tijuana, because of proximity of border, she is allocated even more as various criminal groups try to divide this territory. In 2009, the President Felipe Calderon said that organized crime in Tijuana during the period from October 2008 to March 2009 was reduced by 78%. On October 15, 2008, the target program of capital repairs of roads, including also construction of 18 outcomes and 42 trestle roads which will allow to unload city routes, started. In 2009 at Caliente Stadium there had to take place elimination games of CONCACAF before the FIFA World Cup, but because of danger of HN virus were postponed. In March 2010 in Tijuana there passed the World Youth Championship across Taekwondo. Geography and climate. Tijuana, it is known for the rough country including canyons, hills and table mountains. In the city the river with the name of the same name flowing into the Pacific Ocean flows. In kilometer to the north of the river the border with the USA is located, and the area between the river and border is called a river zone. Here many hotels, restaurants, shopping centers, hospitals and inhabited high-rise buildings are located. The municipality Tijuana is divided into administrative regions. Delegaciones. 9 of which districts of the city. Square of Tijuana, about 637 km. An all municipality of 879.2 km. Centro, the historic center of Tijuana where the main business district of the city is located. Zone Rio or downtown. In the Zone Rio stretched in a northern part of the city near the American border, offices of the companies and banks, hotels, shopping centers, hospital are concentrated. Avenida Revolución. Avenida Revolución is well known for the bars, restaurants, hotels, shops, drugstores and art galleries. In the evening the boulevard located in San Norte attracts a great number of tourists with the brothels, nightclubs, street prostitutes and dealers of drugs. On Paseo de los Héroes. Geroev Road. Offices of banks and insurance companies, hotels, shops and hospital and also the largest shopping center, Plaza of Rio, and the cultural center of Tijuana are concentrated. Along the boulevard Aguacaliente restaurants, shops, hotels and sports complexes, including 2 towers, Las Torres Hotel and offices. Football Stadium Caliente, municipal where the local basketball team, and a hippodrome plays are located. In Boulevard Sanchez Taboada there is a set of restaurants, including the Mexican, Italian, Spanish, French, Argentina, Chinese, Japanese, American, Thai, Greek, Brazilian and Jewish cuisine. On Paseo del Centenario. Stoletia Road. The Municipal Palace of Tijuana, a complex of the government of the state, the Central Hospital and a high-rise housing estate of New City are located. Playas de Tijuana, the northwest area stretched along the ocean coast. On Paseo Ensenada, most shops and restaurants, including shopping center Coronado's Plaza, is located. Along a strip of beaches, high-rise hotels and housing estates last. Also in the area are Plaza de Hummock Monumental, the arena on which a bullfight, concerts and boxing fights are held. A campus of the Iberoamericana University. Centenario, the main industrial region of Tijuana located in east part of the city. Here the large industrial park, Ciudad Industrial, the industrial city, and Park de la Amistad, the Park of Friendship, are located. Along the main highways of Boulevard Bellas Artes, Boulevard Industrial and the Mexican Federal Highway No. 2. Also the Assembly Enterprises last numerous a make later. Mesa de Oti, in the area located in a northern part of the city near the American border, there are an international airport of Tijuana, a campus of the Autonomous University of Baja California, shopping centers, Centro Comercial Oti, and Plaza Otis Americana, a set of the Chinese, Italian and Mexican restaurants and also a make-later. Sierra of Colorado, mainly residential area. At top of the hill several antennas of teleradio stations and mobile operators are located. La Mesa, in the area the largest Morelos Park, a campus of the private university cities, shopping centers, Mundo's Plaza and Macroplaza are located. San Antonio de los Buenos, mainly residential area with 2 industrial parks. Sanchez Taboada, mainly residential area with the large industrial zone, Pacific Industrial Park. La Presa, the first in area adjoining a dam. Climate of Tijuana Mediterranean, with soft winter and in the warm summer. Coldest month January with the average temperature of +13 C, which is seldom falling below 0 C is. The most part of rainfall drops out during the winter period, from November to March, and in February the storm usual for the Pacific region are frequent. The hottest months from July to September, with an average temperature about +22 C. According to a census of 2005, 1,286,187 people lived in Tijuana. According to preliminary estimates in 2010, the population of the city made 1,659,872 persons. The population of Tijuana is very different. In the majority it is migrants from other parts of Mexico and also immigrants from around the world. It is a lot of representatives from the Asian countries, generally Chinese, to a lesser extent Koreans and Japanese. A large number of citizens of the USA, generally from South California, moved to Tijuana to avoid the high cost of life in the country, at the same time continuing to work in San Diego. It is a lot of natives of Latin America hoping to drive to the United States settled in Tijuana. According to National Council of the Population of Mexico, Tijuana is one of the most fast-growing cities of Mexico. About 8,000 people a year move to Tijuana. Religion. The most part of churches and arrivals are under control of Catholic Church, however growth of Protestant groups is more and more noticeable. The main division of the population on religious beliefs. Christians, 96% of the population. Catholics -61%. Protestants -35%. Pentecostals -15%. Other representatives: Lutherans, members of Universal Church of the God's Kingdom, Presbyterians, Baptists and other. Jehovah's Witnesses -11% of the population of the city. Representatives of Seventh-day Adventist Church -3% of the population. Mormons -2% of the population. Other beliefs 4%. Atheists and agnostics less than 4% of the population. Also there are small groups adhering to East religions. In recent years, as well as in the majority of the countries of the world, the Catholic religion reduced the presence in the city. At the same time, growth of Protestant groups continues. Economy. On income per capita, Tijuana takes in the country the third place after Cancun and Mexico City. The proximity to the American border and presence of cheap labor attracted a set of the assembly enterprises to the city. In the period of the peak in 2001 in Tijuana, about 820 make a later. By 2010 there were about 550 were based. Also in the city many companies, high-tech and call centers of the American corporations are located. The plants of the companies Sony, Panasonic, Sanyo, Pioneer, Samsung, General Electric, Dell, Kodak, Vizio, Plantronics, Siemens, Philips, Lanix, Zonda Telecom. Consumer electronics and electrical equipment. Microsoft. Software. General Motors, Ford, Toyota, Volkswagen, BMW, Hyundai. Cars and automotive components. Airbus. The space equipment. Chemex. Building materials. Bimbo and Nabisco. Foodstuff. Are distinguished from the largest enterprises of Tijuana. In the city, large shopping centers, Plaza of Rio, Mundo's Plaza, Monarch's Plaza, Plaza Carousel, Coronado's Plaza, and Galeria's Ipodromo, are located. Because of relative low cost in Tijuana, the set of the medical centers focused on Americans, stomatologists and plastic surgeons prospers. Tijuana is visited by millions of American tourists from South California. Especially the city is attractive to youth, as under the Mexican laws alcohol is on sale from 18 years, unlike the USA where it is available since 21. Also big companies of the American students make the main contingent of clients of retail sellers of marijuana and cocaine, semi-underground drugstores where without recipe release psychotropic drugs, numerous brothels and clubs in Son Norte, the Tijuana district of Red Lamps. Ordinary Americans, mainly pensioners, the low cost of the sector of medical services, abundance of souvenirs. A sombrero, boots vaqueros, a poncho, products from silver. Adapted for tastes of gringo, the Mexican cuisine, ensembles of a mariachi singing national songs in English attracts in Tijuana. The main magnet attracting tourists is Boulevard Avenida Revolution and quarters adjoining to him, where restaurants, brothels, shops and attractions round the clock work. The cacophony of street orchestras, zazivny shouts of dealers, money changers and prostitutes doesn't cease. Even to the Mexican measures, Tijuana is considered the city with very high crime rate and violence. In northern, adjacent to the American border, districts of the city, especially through Canyon Slum, Zapata, Local groups trade in a transportation to California of illegal immigrants, drugs, cigarettes and alcohol. Fight for control over these extremely profitable spheres of criminal business, especially in the field of transportation of drugs, quite often develops into bloody skirmishes and even dragged-out wars between local cartels. Are engaged in a transportation of illegal immigrants through border, or brood hens. In other places of Mexico they are called. By 2010 only through Tijuana more than 1 million people a year, generally Mexicans, Salvadorans, Hondurans, Bolivians and also Chinese and Vietnamese moved to the USA. Interesting fact. In the city of Tijuana assembled Bender's robot from the cartoon serial Futurama. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.